Good evening. My video today is going to be an offshoot from the group that I did tonight. We were discussing how to debate people who didn't believe in God, didn't believe in the Bible, and the arguments they had. And we were talking about how we can use the Bible, which is, our main weapon, okay? But we also need to be able to use facts that both historical, biblical, and stuff in our lives to help reflect why we believe what we believe. And in the process, we got to talking about the generations in the Bible. And, people sit there and say, well, how did so many people get, populate the earth in such a short period of time? Well, I know in my time, families, it was very common to have, 10, 12 kids or even more. So, it wouldn't take long at that rate where you had family relations of 100 people or more in just a matter of, 20, 30 years. So my discussion is going to be about the concept of generations. In the Bible, it encompasses both literal and symbolic meanings. Typically, a generation refers to a 30-year period representing the time between one generation's parent and their children, as seen in Exodus 1:6 and other passages. Covenant continuity, as far as generations in the Bible, God promises often tied to generations. In Genesis 17, God establishes his covenant with Abraham and his descendants for the generations to come, emphasizing enduring relationships. Transmission of faith. The Bible commands each generation to teach the next about God. And that is something that has fell by the wayside, I'm going to say, in the last 100 years. You can look at the statistics, and there's been a steady fall in people that actually raise their kids in the church and teach them about God has been getting less and less. And with the age where we have so much social media and connection through the internet and that, it's even gotten worse. But in Deuteronomy 6 and 7, it instructs parents to teach them diligently to your children, while Psalm 78:4-7 calls for declaring God's works to the next generation. We're supposed to have generational accountability. Faithfulness or rebellion affects future generations. Exodus 20, verse 5-6 states, God visits the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation, but shows loving devotion to thousands of generations of those who love him. Genealogies and historical markers. Genealogies trace lineage and significant events. Matthew 1:17 divides Jesus' lineage into 3 sections of 14 generations, from Abraham to David, David to the Babylonian exile, and the exile to Christ, likely for memorization and symbolic emphasis. Symbolic use of generations. The term can refer to a broader cultural spiritual group. In Psalm 78:8, a stubborn and rebellious generation describes a people characterized by disobedience over time, not just over a 30-year span. Longer time frames. In some contexts, generation spans much longer. Genesis 2:4 uses generations of the heavens and the earth to refer to all history, human history. In Numbers 20 32:13, the generation that refused to enter Canaan wandered 40 years until it died. Some notable examples are 7 generations from Adam to Enoch in Genesis 5, verse 3 through 24. Symbolizes a full cycle of divine regeneration and faithfulness. 10 generations from Adam to Noah, Genesis 5, 3 through 32. From Noah to Abram, Genesis 11, 10 through 26, often reflecting completeness and divine order. And 42 generations from Abraham to Jesus in Matthew 1, verse 17, though only 41 names appear due to overlaps, highlighting the theological significance over strict chronology. In summary, while generations in the Bible is often about 30 years, it can also represent a spiritual, cultural, and historical era shaped by faith, covenant, and divine purpose. And I'm going to cut it off there and pick up tomorrow along the same topic. There's just so much to it. And honestly, I've just barely scratched the surface on this stuff. It's very important, though, that we get a grip on it. So, love y'all. Have a blessed night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.